I just received an email from my former boss, begging me to come back to the company I was fired from 6 months ago. I have to say, it's been a wild ride. I used to work as a data analyst at a mid-sized marketing firm. It was a decent job, but the work environment was toxic. My boss, Rachel, was a micromanager who thought she knew everything about data analysis, despite having no experience in the field. She would constantly question my methods, second-guess my results, and take credit for my work. I tried to brush it off, thinking that it was just her personality, but it started to get to me. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, never knowing when she would blow up at me for something ridiculous. One day, she called me into her office and told me that I was being let go. She said it was due to budget cuts, but I knew it was because I had disagreed with her on a project and she couldn't handle it. I was furious, but I kept my cool and asked her to provide me with a reason for my termination in writing. She hesitated, but eventually sent me an email stating that my position was being eliminated due to restructuring. I knew this was a lie, but I decided to play along. I sent her a response, thanking her for the opportunity to work at the company and offering my assistance during the transition period. What she didn't know was that I had been documenting every interaction with her, including emails, meetings, and projects. I had a folder full of evidence of her incompetence and abuse of power. A few days after I left, I received a call from HR, asking me to come in for an exit interview. I agreed, and during the interview, I presented them with my folder of evidence. I told them about the constant belittling, the lack of trust, and the way Rachel would manipulate people to get what she wanted. HR seemed taken aback, but they thanked me for my honesty and told me that they would look into it. I didn't think much of it, assuming that it would be swept under the rug like everything else. But then, something strange started to happen. I began to receive calls from former colleagues, telling me that Rachel was having a meltdown. Apparently, she had been called into the CEO's office and reprimanded for her behavior. She was also forced to attend management training, which she hated. I was thrilled, but I didn't gloat. Instead, I decided to take it a step further. I started a blog where I wrote about my experiences with toxic bosses and how to deal with them. I shared my story, including the evidence I had collected, and offered advice to others who might be going through similar situations. The blog took off, and soon I was receiving emails from people all over the world, thanking me for my courage and asking for my help. I became a sort of expert on dealing with toxic bosses, and I was happy to share my knowledge. And then, 6 months after I was fired, I received that email from Rachel, begging me to come back to the company. She said that they needed me, and that she was willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. I was stunned. I had never expected her to crawl back like that. I decided to respond, but I didn't make it easy for her. I told her that I would consider returning, but only if she agreed to meet with me in person and apologize for the way she had treated me. I also told her that I would need a significant raise, a new title, and a guarantee that I would be able to work independently, without her interference. I knew it was a long shot, but I was curious to see how far she would go. A few days later, we met at a coffee shop. Rachel looked like she had lost weight, and her eyes had a desperate glint to them. She apologized profusely, telling me that she had been stressed and overwhelmed when she treated me the way she did. She agreed to all of my demands, including the raise and the new title. I was taken aback, but I tried to keep a straight face. I told her that I would think about it, and that I would get back to her soon. As I left the coffee shop, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. I had played the game, and I had won. But as I walked away, I received a call from the CEO of the company. He told me that he had been following my blog, and that he was impressed with my expertise. He offered me a job as a consultant, helping the company to deal with toxic bosses and improve their work environment. I was stunned. I had never expected this. I told him that I would consider it, but only if I could work remotely and have complete control over my projects. He agreed, and we shook hands over the phone. I never did go back to my old job, but I did take the consulting gig. And as for Rachel, she's still at the company, but she's no longer my boss. In fact, she's now reporting to me, as part of the company's efforts to restructure their management team. It's funny how things come full circle, isn't it? I'm not gloating, but I am enjoying the view from the top. And as for my blog, it's still going strong. I'm still helping people to deal with toxic bosses, and I'm still sharing my expertise with the world. It's been a wild ride, but I wouldn't change a thing. Well, maybe one thing: I might have enjoyed that cup of coffee with Rachel a bit more if I had known that I was going to come out on top.